New tonight, Florida's Agriculture Commissioner and Democratic candidate for governor Nikki Fried recently announced that she's suing the Biden administration over a rule that blocks medical marijuana users from buying guns.
The state's top Democrat and frequent ally of the president striking a different tone as Election Day gets closer.
Our Jay O'Brien has more on that tonight. Jay?
Yeah, Liz, Jim, Nikki Fried is calling this a friendly lawsuit, saying that she gave the heads up to the Biden White House before filing this suit. But it is one of a several series of departures that the top Democrat in the state has taken against her party in recent days.
State Agriculture Commissioner Nikki Fried, a top Democrat, now suing her political allies in the Biden administration over a federal rule that bans medical marijuana users from buying guns or having concealed carry permits.
Is yet another violation of medical marijuana patients' rights.
Fried, a former marijuana lobbyist and advocate for legalizing the drug, saying the lawsuit against a Democratic administration doesn't distance her from voters in her party.
I think that once Democrats understand that I'm fighting for the people, that's what I've done my entire life. What we are doing with this lawsuit is hoping to move the needle when it comes to federal changes into cannabis.
The only Florida Democrat currently holding statewide office, Fried is also drawing anger from some in her party after this selfie celebrating the end of the mask mandate for air travel. Responding to critics, things are getting back to normal, and it's okay for a Democrat to say it because we made it possible. But even President Biden not going that far.
He is still abiding by CDC guidance, and we recommend Americans do that across the country. They're still recommending people wear masks on airplanes.
In Florida, polls showing Fried slightly trailing fellow Democrat and former Governor Charlie Crist, both vying to go up against Governor Ron DeSantis in the fall. The Republican governor building much of his image around culture wars issues.
I don't care what corporate media outlets say. I don't care what Hollywood says. I don't care what big corporations say. Here I stand. I'm not backing down.
While still polarizing, polls show no matter who the nominee is, DeSantis will be tough to beat.
Now, obviously, there are no two politicians in this state that have clashed more than Nikki Fried and Ron DeSantis. But curiously enough, DeSantis' press secretary tweeted that she had not read the specifics behind this lawsuit. But she did say that the administration supports the general thrust of what this lawsuit is about, which is protecting Second Amendment rights.
Well, the state releasing examples of why it chose to ban some public school math books from making it into the classroom. And what they found is raising more than a few eyebrows. Our Lexi Nall has details on that tonight.
Jim, it looks like these books were often flagged for their controversial word problems. Like one showed a bar graph that measured racial prejudice. And conservative lawmakers say that won't fly in Florida.
And it's crazy what we're learning about as we dig into this stuff.
State Representative Randy Fine wants publishers of Florida math textbooks to stick to the basics.
Here's how I look at it. You know, my son gets about 9,000 minutes of math instruction a year, about 45 minutes a day, about 200 days a year. I want them to teach him algebra and addition and subtraction and division and fractions. And trust me, that's a lot to learn. They need to cut out the nonsense. It's about you don't have time to waste on this silliness. Teach people how to do math, teach them how to get to the answer, leave the frou-frou stuff for home.
Critical race theory and social emotional learning are among the topics that state education officials were looking out for as they reviewed dozens of textbooks. The department ultimately rejecting a little less than half of all math books submitted for the upcoming school year, flagging materials like this, a word problem measuring racial bias, and a blurb about social awareness and empathy.
Math is about getting the right answer, and we want kids to learn to think so they get the right answer. It's not about how you feel about the problem or to introduce some of these other things. There's a right answer and there's a wrong answer.
Governor Ron DeSantis has been outspoken in the effort to crack down on these materials, but there's some concern within local districts that they could be scrambling to purchase approved books before the next school year.
I'm trying to buy these books to get ready for the upcoming school year, so time is of the essence.
Haven't purchased any banned books yet, but school officials say they were considering some of the rejected materials. Now they have to pump the brakes.
That
causes problems, especially for large districts when we have to order millions of dollars worth of books.
The majority of the blocked books were intended for our youngest students. Officials rejected more than 70% of math books submitted for the K-5 grade levels, leaving publishers of banned books with two options: appeal the state's decision or edit the materials and resubmit.
It's not a death sentence. They can go back. I think the issues are identified. They can modify their materials and get back on the list.
Well, we also reached out to our school districts on the Treasure Coast to see if they had purchased any of the rejected books. So far, it looks like all of our local schools are in the clear. No one's purchased any of these books yet.
Well, today is Earth Day, and we are highlighting a Boca Raton company. It makes sustainable clothing, and its founder is transforming old towels and bed sheets into environmentally friendly fashion. CBS 12's Stephanie Valderrama introduces us to the Royal Native.
I had all of these vintage towels that I had been collecting, and I'd always wanted to turn them into clothing.
When the pandemic hit and life slowed down, Hillary DeRoy finally felt she had the time to turn a lifelong dream into reality. With 10 old towels, she started an environmentally friendly clothing brand out of her grandparents' condo in Boca Raton, repurposing old towels and bed sheets.
It's been forgotten about, and I'm taking that piece that's been sitting there, recreating something.
Her first piece, these shorts. She made them out of a towel that she found on a beach in Mykonos while vacationing there with her best friend. Her other favorite piece, this neon orange jacket she made from a towel that used to belong to her late grandfather. She says it's quickly becoming a client favorite.
And they just fly off the shelves. It's just a simple little way to have some fun in your outfit, and people wear them to dinner, they wear them to the beach, on their boat, on vacation, to the pool.
DeRoy says she associates towels with vacation, places, and good memories, and she wanted to recreate that nostalgia for her clients. From just a few pieces, she's expanded. Now she makes tank tops, hoodies, even beach bags. Basically anything she can repurpose towels or old bed sheets into, she creates. The older the towel, the better. The pieces vary in pricing, anywhere between $125 to $325. She says in order to maintain her environmentally friendly business model, she only makes small quantities of products.
So that I'm not sitting on a whole bunch of things that aren't going to sell and that are going to end up in a landfill.
The unique pieces and sustainable business model has now caught the attention of a clothing store with multiple locations, including one in Palm Beach.
This past year, the Veronica Beards opened a Palm Beach and Miami shop, and they asked to carry my towel clothing in those two shops.